Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Serving 813, a radio show and podcast featuring Tampa Bay organizations and groups every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. We're your hosts, Ava Lamison
and Kate Edwards.
And today we are super excited and lucky to be joined with one of the faces and voices behind Paint Your Heart Out Tampa.
Now, if you don't know already, Paint Your Heart Out Tampa is a one-day annual volunteer initiative dedicated to painting and beautifying the homes of low-income seniors, disabled individuals, and veterans throughout the city of Tampa for free.
So with that said, welcome to the show, Kathy.
Hello. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being here.
We're so excited to have you here. So my first question for you is, on a deeper level, what is Paint Your Heart Out Tampa all about?
Well, it's about our mission is to enrich the lives and renew our community through an annual volunteer project of painting and beautifying our seniors, veteran, and disabled neighbors' homes. Every year, we bring the Tampa community together to paint houses and, more importantly, change lives by providing a fresh coat of paint on these houses that need it. We're one of the longest-running nonprofit organizations in the Tampa Bay area.
That's great. I love this. I have to say, I honestly didn't know too much about Paint Your Heart Out Tampa before when we got you guys as guests coming on the show, and then I looked into it, and I really like the purpose of it. I think it's kind of unique. I don't know if it's something you would really think about as much when you're thinking of ways to better the city. A lot of, but I think beautifying projects are always really important.
I think a lot of times people think beautifying a city is making a park or picking up trash and things like that. This is on a deeper level because we're actually connecting with those Tampa residents who need that help and brightening up our neighborhoods, which of course is brightening up our community. The other things are wonderful too, but we need to remember that there are some people who can't do that for themselves. They want to, and they want to paint their house. They want to clean up their lawn. They want to make their neighborhood proud. They just don't have the means or the ability sometimes to do so, and that's where we come in.
Yeah, certainly. So within the 813, what role do you see Paint Your Heart Out playing?
Oh, I think it is just such a community building and community improving organization. The number of businesses, the number of people who come together to put this on every year, it's bonding in itself. And then when you see what it does to those homeowners and to their neighborhoods on that level, it's just amazing. It's just such a feel-good and do-good project. Can't go wrong.
About how many volunteers do you have?
Well, each year there's 2,500 painters because we have about 100 teams of about 25 each. So that's 2,500 volunteers who come out specifically to help about 100 homeowners each year. It is amazing.
Yeah, that's a good number.
Yeah, those are very big numbers. So
they're going to end up donating about 18,000 hours by the end of the project. Volunteer hours, 18,000. To me, that is an amazing number for the effort that we're putting in.
So I heard you guys just had your 36-year anniversary. I want to say a little congratulations.
Thank you. This is our 36th year. Last year was 35, which is big one for us.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's 35 years and many of the same people involved. I wasn't involved the first 2 years, but was joined after that, heard about it and joined in year 3. And to see the same people coming back and doing good every year, to see people in the community who recognize us and recognize the program and want to get involved, and all the good that we've done that's 3,500 houses that have been painted and improved. And many of them don't just get a coat of paint. They get their yards cleaned up. They can get maybe some minor repairs if a team has that ability, some landscaping. So general good vibes all around in that home improvement.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the numbers that are impressive, but the community you've made. And you interview so many different nonprofits, and it's always at the heart of it. Community is what's important. People getting to interact with others, form relationships, and like you said, year after year, come back and keep doing what they're doing, and like getting to know each other. That's just what's important.
Exactly. And truthfully, when I started this with an HC team, I had students that I would get involved with and would make the team with. We actually had a Hillsborough College team for 30 painting years. And then when I moved up in the organization, I wasn't able to have a team anymore. But having a relationship with students in a classroom is one thing. Doing a volunteer project with them bonded us, I think, for life. I am still friends with many students who were in my classes and thus on the team when they volunteered 20 years ago. I've been to some weddings of theirs. I have, seen their children grow up, because when you connect at that level, when you're volunteering, it's deeper. It really is. It's a very special connection. And I enjoy being with people who feel the same way about volunteerism that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 36 years is, you guys started in 1988. So can you tell us about the history of Paint Your Heart Out Tampa?
Absolutely. We started in 1988. But we actually started painting in 89, because that first year was an organizational year where they put together, about 50 people got together to make the initial committee that planned everything out. It was inspired by a program similar to this in Pittsburgh. And when someone saw it, they said, we should do that in Tampa. And how can we make that happen? Got a bunch of people together and made the steering committee. So by 1989, we had our first paint day, and it was a great, great success. As a matter of fact, one of our founding members, Jerry Hansen, is still our executive director for Paint Your Heart Out. And there's a quote I like to say of his that is just so profound. It says, "We paint with purpose, passion, and heart. By uniting volunteers to refresh homes for those in need, we create a more beautiful, connected, and compassionate Tampa." And I think that's what we've done in the last 36 years, if you count the organizational year. I think we've done that, and I hope we continue to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see it happening. And I mean, we just started this year and you guys have already accomplished so much. It's just March and you still have so much to do.
No, yeah. I know you have your annual thing where you do the beautifying projects, but within that and throughout the year, what are the service opportunities for people at Paint Your Heart Out?
So the big thing is, like you said, the actual paint day, which this year is going to be April 18th. But it all doesn't happen in one day. There are many needs in organizing and boxing up supplies. They're getting those ready even right now, doing inventory, doing shopping, tinting paint, things like that. The committee meets monthly throughout the year, because everything requires planning in that kind of degree. I think only over the summer we really take off. We just finished a fundraiser called Aim High, which was a whole big project in itself. It's like a golf tournament, but for clay shooting. And it's a big event, and it's a big fundraiser to have the funds to do this event. The time and the energy and the manpower and volunteer hours that went into that alone, too. We always can use help doing that. The biggest thing is on paint day. We really need those bodies to paint. And you don't even have to have an entire team. We can actually match you up with teams if people want to volunteer. On that day, it's basically about cleanup and prepping the house and giving it a good coat of paint. And for those who are even under 18 years old, we have opportunities for you to volunteer as well at the distribution center, which again is passing out supplies, organizing supplies, and boxing them up and taking inventory. there's opportunities for everyone.
So is how it works on the paint day. You have a team, and then they're sent to certain locations, and like they just stay there and do that. And
Exactly. So people sign up to be a team, and we have been working with them, and that's one of my jobs as a team liaison, to get them trained to know what to do, a captain to know what to do. And they have their team of 25 people approximately. So when they get there that day, they know exactly we have to start by scraping the house and, trimming trees or whatever they're doing, bushes, whatever they're doing. And they have a plan of attack, but that's basically what you're doing that day is prepping the house, painting it, doing some general cleanup. But you usually have a team captain. So what I did for Hillsborough College, I was the team captain, and I had 25 or more students who followed my lead. And so you have someone who organizes it. Now, if you're an individual, or maybe it's a group of you and 5 of your friends, and you're thinking, boy, I don't have enough for a team. Well, we can match you up with a small team. We may have a club or another organization or a church that says, hey, I've got 10 people, and we'll match your 5 people up with them, and that will make a team together. So we could use one person, we can use 100 people. We will match you up with the house ahead of time. You could see the house ahead of time, and you can kind of make a plan yourself. So everybody has a designated spot to go that morning.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're already hitting the mark for the end of this segment. The show's flying by, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back after this song.
And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. Make sure to tune in to live365.com every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. if you want to find ways to serve your community. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm one of your hosts, Kate Edwards, and I'm here with Kathy from Paint Your Heart Out Tampa.
Hello. So for this segment, we want to talk more about you, Kathy, and your role within Paint Your Heart Out Tampa. So my first question is, what's your role within Paint Your Heart Out, and what drew you to this organization?
So currently, I'm on the steering committee, and the steering committee consists of probably around 40 people who basically plan and organize this entire event. We work 12 months out of the year, maybe a little downtime over the summer, but we're working all the time. When this event happens on April 18th, we start again on the 19th, thinking about next year. And I'm now what's called a captain liaison, a team liaison, which means I work very closely with each group's organizer. We call them captains. So if your company decides, or your club or whatever decides to have a team, there's somebody in charge, and that's the person I communicate with. I give them guidance. I give them training of all of our years of experience. The steering committee consists of people who have had a team and experience in having a Paint Your Heart Out team, usually for many, many, many years. As I mentioned earlier, I did it 30 times with students and faculty and staff members from Hillsborough College. So I know what it's like. I know what we need to do first thing in the morning. I know how to ration your supplies. I know how to get organized for that. So that's what I do. I help those captains stay on track, get their teams organized, get them more help when they need them, merge them together, and just keep everybody going. In addition to other things throughout the year, I work on the handbook and update all of our handbook information for our captains. I help with the fundraiser that we had last weekend, the Aim High fundraiser. We all have many different hats in this committee, and we love doing it, and it keeps us busy throughout the entire year. I love personally how it allows me to connect with the community. The connection that I have, especially through volunteerism, is just tremendous. It makes you appreciate what you have. It makes you really warm your heart because you're helping others. It is, I tell people all the time, it's the hardest day's work that you'll probably do this year, but the most rewarding. Because at the end of the day, when you're washing that dirt and paint off of you and you're exhausted and you can't move your arms, you're going to think, wow, look what we did. And my heart is just so filled with love. And it gives me hope. It gives me hope for people in Tampa. And it just gives me that warmth that you just can't get anywhere else. And all of us feel that way. And when we talk to each other the next day and the next week, we're so happy. It just keeps me happy for so long. There's no replacing that. There really isn't.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more fulfilling than volunteering and just getting to help others. And especially a lot of organizations like these, it allows people to meet people they never usually would and get to form such a bond with them that you get through volunteering and serving. And so.
You're right. It's a different bond, completely a different bond. You can go to church with people and have one particular bond, but when those same people go out there and paint a house with you for someone for free, all as volunteers, it's another level. It really is. Yeah. And it's a wonderful level. It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. And so I'm curious, on a day-to-day, what does a normal day look like for you working with Paint Your Heart Out?
So it's not my day job. Obviously, I am a professor here at Hillsborough College, but it's a little bit every week, it seems like, whether I'm on the computer or having meetings. We do have a big meeting once a month for the committee. And there are things that we have to get done between, like my job this month may be, hey, update the information in the handbook so it's ready to post. And someone else is, okay, make sure Facebook and social media is ready to go. We all have kind of our hats, and they kind of change depending on what time of the year it is. Now we're getting into the point where it's okay, I need to talk to every one of those captains every week from now until paint day. The last week, I'll be talking to them daily. How you doing? You got everybody going? Do you have enough ladders? Do you have enough paintbrushes? So the duties do change. And of course, our busiest time is the 2 months before paint day. That's when literally every night we're on the computer, we're on the phone, we're communicating constantly. And maybe we get a little time off, like I said, in the summer a little bit, but we're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
Have you had any memorable moments with Paint Your Heart Out?
Oh gosh, there's so many. First of all, I think every time the homeowner comes out at the end of the paint day, when you're like, okay, we're all done. Do you want to come take a look? And they come out and turn around. It's like those reality shows that you see where they reveal their home. That moment makes me cry every time, because when they turn around and they're like, oh my goodness, I forgot what my house looks like when it's clean and painted, and it's just an amazing feeling. That is that makes the whole thing worthwhile. One year we went to go visit a woman who had always lived in Tampa. She was 95 years old at the time, and she was a somewhat retired piano teacher. But even at 95, she still had two students, a 30-year-old piano student and an 80-year-old piano student who came to her house for piano lessons. And when we went to go visit her at the house, she's showing us pictures of her being young and performing all around Tampa. Her love for the mayor. She had taken some pictures at an event with the mayor at the time, and just was so happy to be a Tampa resident and so proud of her life in Tampa. But of course, at 95, she, with her health the way it was, she couldn't paint her house, and she didn't want to leave it. And when we came to paint her house, she was so overjoyed that we were all hysterical. She was just amazed. We made her last year alive glorious because she did not want to leave Tampa. And that was that connection that we wanted to keep going. It's really just, it's about that. It's about the people. It's about the neighborhood. To see neighbors coming up going, what are you people doing? Wait, this is free? This is free for those who qualify, yes. And they'll go, but why are you doing it? And they're like, it's beautiful and we love it, and they're so excited. And we say, that's why we're doing it. It's not just for the homeowner. It's about this street and this neighborhood, this community of Tampa. That's it right there.
Yeah, I'm curious, when the hurricanes came through, I know a lot of people's houses were in a horrible state. Did that like after the time that the hurricanes happened, did you guys like do anything with that, or did that affect your paint day? Was it more of like maybe cleanup for houses or anything?
So when it happened, we had to cancel, obviously, because we went to lockdown. So that year we did have to cancel. And when September came around, we were getting back out there and saying, okay, now we need to look at those severely damaged homes that, of course, we can't put a roof on or anything, but what is ready for cleanup, what is ready to be painted. You also have to remember, a lot of people didn't want 2,500 people coming on their houses. It was still COVID, and especially with elderly. So whoever was up to a team coming to their home, because people were worried about the virus, we did go. And I can't remember the exact number, but it was a much lower number than 100. And then the next year it got a little bigger. And then the next year, and here we are now back to normal. Because again, COVID was a scary thing, especially when you are disabled or old, elderly. So the idea of all these people hanging out on your house did change things, but we are now back. It did change things, and I think there was more cleanup than painting there for a couple of years. But again, that's what we do this for. We want to help. We want to connect. We're not expecting someone who is disabled or elderly to be able to pick up all those branches from their yard. So our shift changed a little bit, but we were still doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Brightening up that home.
It's a lot of work with this past year or 2 years ago when we had the two hurricanes that came. With my church, I went around to a lot of the houses for the elderly members of our church who couldn't really clean up their homes. And it was hard. It's hot and you're wood and glass everywhere. But like you said, it was really rewarding when they would come outside of their house after we were done, and they would just be so happy that, their yard looked normal again, and it didn't look like this massive destructive thing had just come. And they could take pride in their home again.
Exactly. I think they also got a little depressed, when you see the amount of damage.
Yeah.
And whether it's just brush or branches or whatever, and you can't go out and pick them up. How depressing is that to look at that on your lawn or to not be able to pick up that broken glass? It's heartbreaking. So to have a team of people who just magically show up and will help you with that and paint your house and do a nice cleanup on it. I like to say that the best thing about the hurricanes is it gave all the houses a nice wash, but that was about it.
Yeah.
After that, it brought a lot of branches and things like that. So that had to be taken care of, and that's one of the things we could do.
Yeah.
So how do you guys choose your homes?
Oh, that's a great question. So homes are nominated, and they could be nominated by family members, community members, neighbors, local organizations. Sometimes a church will know of somebody who might know need the help. We work very closely also with Tampa's code enforcement department. And with all those nominations, they go online, by the way. It's a very simple thing. You put in the address. And then we have a team, part of our committee, will go out and check it out. Make sure that they qualify, make sure that the house qualifies, and then you're on our list to paint. And then over the next couple months, we will match you up with a team who has volunteered. And that's our job, is bringing these houses and the teams together. Now, to qualify, just as a side note, a homeowner must live in the city of Tampa. They must own and occupy the home that is reported, and they have to meet the age, income, and disability or disability requirements. So, and all that is on our webpage, pyhot.com. It's pyhot.com or .org, excuse me. And you could check that out. But we have a team that goes out to make sure that they really do need a paint job and they really are qualified for it. And within days, usually, you're on the list and we're about to match you up. And we're actually working on that right now. The office is matching up all of our teams that have volunteered with all of our houses that have been nominated and qualified. And they're matching them up because in 2 weeks, everyone is like a big reveal for our teams. They're going to get their house assignments and then their work is going to start.
It's like bid day.
There you go. It is a big day. It is a big day.
Well, I think we're already ending segment 2 already and about to go into segment 3, but it's time for a little song break, so we'll be back after this song. And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. Make sure to tune in to live365.com every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. if you want to find ways to serve your community. If you're just joining us, I'm one of your hosts, Ava Lamison, and we're here with Kathy from Paint Your Heart Out Tampa. So I put up an Instagram story the other day asking you guys listening to send in questions regarding Paint Your Heart Out Tampa. And just like always, we got a lot of responses. So let's get into it.
The first DM asks, if you could describe Paint Your Heart Out in one word, what would it be?
A blessing. It is absolutely a blessing to have people who are willing to come out and to do this for their community, and seeing how we could change someone's life for the better to make a difference in our community as a whole. There is no better feeling, and there's no better blessing for those people who we are helping, and for ourselves too. We definitely get to fill our hearts and do good and share that love and support through our community.
Yeah, I think blessing's a great word because it is a blessing for both sides, the volunteers and the ones who are receiving.
The whole community. The next DM says, how can I become a volunteer?
Well, to volunteer, all you have to do is go to the website, and it is pyhot.com. I did say it right the first time before. So pyhot.com, and there are ways to volunteer, and you can volunteer as a team if you want to have a whole group of people and you want to become a team, or you can even volunteer as an individual. So we will match you up and put you with a team if you're over 18, or put you at the distribution center. The volunteer coordinator will contact you, and you'll talk all about that. But you can do that right online, and you will get an immediate answer from someone from our team that will be happy to give you a volunteer opportunity. Also, remember, no matter what you do for Paint Your Heart Out Tampa and volunteering, it does count as service hours too. So for those of you who are in programs, schools, things like that, where you're looking for those service hours, this qualifies as those volunteer service hours.
Good to know. That's definitely a draw-in, especially for people our age. That's the whole reason we started this, was to give people different ways they can get service hours. So,
right. And we want to encourage that too, because the earlier, such as yourselves, that you start volunteering and you start feeling that your contribution is working to the world, our hope is you're going to continue that and keep that love in your heart and continue it throughout your life, which I was raised as with volunteerism in our home, and I'm still doing it to this day. I did it with my kids. They're doing it, continuing to do it. So we're hoping this kind of takes off and we share that love and volunteerism.
Yeah. And an organization like Paint Your Heart Out Tampa is so rewarding. I mean, service hours are just a bonus.
Absolutely. But it never hurts to put that out there, to say that is a perk for it.
Yeah. This next DM says, where do you see Paint Your Heart Out Tampa in 10 years' time?
Still doing what we're doing, maybe even on a larger scale.
Yeah.
In the 36 years since the inception of this organization and the 35 painted years that we've done, it has just gotten bigger and bigger. And I hope we can keep that momentum up. It is a self-sufficient program now with wonderful donations coming in regularly. Not one person gets paid in our organization. Every dime that comes in goes straight to supplies and what we need to make this happen. And I think we're just going to get bigger and stronger and do more good.
Do you see yourselves creeping out of the 813 and going into surrounding areas?
What's great is that Paint Your Heart Out has been infectious. The city of Clearwater started a Paint Your Heart Out Clearwater.
Oh, wow.
There are many other cities that are adopting this.
Okay.
So, and I think there's enough people in Tampa that even when we can do more than 100 homes, we're still going to be able to find them in Tampa. But we have heard of so many neighboring cities that have started their own, and we love that. We have our executive director, Jerry, has gotten calls and has mentored, like when Clearwater started theirs, and they had questions and things like that. We want that to happen. We hope that every city calls us and says, how do we do this? How do we start this? And
Great.
we've been very fortunate to have great supporters. And that's another way you can help too. If you can't physically come out to paint, if your company can't physically put a team together to come paint, think about a monetary donation. Every dollar counts, and every dollar goes 100% towards paint day. Like I said, none of us get a salary, not anything from it. And you can do that online as well. You can donate online. No dollar is wasted.
That's great.
Yes, that's amazing. And that actually goes into this DM that says, are there any fundraisers I can attend or support?
We just had our big one, which is called Aim High. It was a clay shooting tournament, and that is our major fundraiser. And then the rest are all individuals and companies that do monetary donations. Again, you could call the office too, but we have those abilities right there online. We do everything online, don't we? Right on the website. We're happy to take care of that. That is our big fundraising tool, is basically love from our community and love from people who want to help, who might not be able to come out and paint themselves.
Well, the last DM is, what do you think makes Paint Your Heart Out different from other organizations?
I think it's the fact that we're actually helping the actual homeowner and the actual community. I think that hits a little farther home than picking up trash on a highway. Mm-hmm. I think we're actually there's nothing closer and more intimate than in people's homes, helping them at their homes, their lives. I think that means so much to them. Mm-hmm. It gives them such pride that they may not have had for a while because they were embarrassed at their yard and their house, the way it looked, and they did not have the means nor the strength, the ability to do it themselves. So the fact that we get to warm their hearts and rejuvenate their hearts, as well as the visual rejuvenation, I think makes us very, very different. And of course, we need all of these volunteer organizations. We do need to pick up the trash on the highway. Yeah. We do. Mm-hmm. We do need to clean up our parks. But this one really, hits home, pun intended.
That's really true. It's very direct. I mean, picking up trash or even like packaging food. I mean, those are doing good and they're doing great, but it's more just like, okay, this will help someone someday. But when you're in someone's home, when you're in their yard, you're cleaning up, you get to see their reaction. It's very personal.
You connect with that individual. Not that meal is not going to nourish someone, but you don't get to see it nourish them.
Yeah.
We get to see that. We get to see them go, oh my goodness, is that what my house looks like? Mm-hmm. And to have its pride too.
Yeah.
A lot of people, just they're ashamed, they're depressed, they're about the condition of their house. And to do this, it really does just rejuvenate them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. Well, that wraps up all our DMs and I guess Kathy's time on the show. So thank you so much, Kathy, for being a part of Serving 813.
Thank you for having me on here to talk about this. You guys are doing great work and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, if you're still listening, don't go anywhere because after this song, me and Kate will be here to do a little reflection of today's show.
And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. Make sure to tune in to live365.com every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. to find ways to serve your community. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm one of your hosts, Kate Edwards. I'm here with Ava Lamison, and we are just here with Kathy from Paint Your Heart Out Tampa. But now it's just me and Ava. And I think it's time to reflect on today's episode.
I agreed. Today's episode was so fun. Kathy was such a warm soul, and
yeah, she had an amazing presence. I mean, we always love when people come on here and are able to be talkative. And I mean, I think everyone who comes on here is passionate about what they do. Clearly, volunteerism, that's what you got to have, is passion, because, you know, like she said, it's not really monetary value that you're going to get out of it. But she was very passionate about it, which I just loved. And you could just see the enthusiasm she has for what she does. And she does a lot. I mean, she doesn't even do this. She has a day job here at HCC. She helps with guitar group. And she does this.
And there are paint days coming up in April. Which
I know.
I can't believe that's next month.
I know. I'm glad she took the time to talk with us, because I'm sure that right now is a busy time, like she was saying. But like I said earlier, I didn't know too much about this organization until we had her as a guest. But I mean, just talking about it with her, it's a really cool thing they do. I honestly, like, you might catch me out there on paint day. I was getting really inspired. I honestly do want to do this now.
Yeah, and I never really consider, like, all the work you have to put behind, like, doing stuff like this. So hearing about all, like, the behind the scenes work, whether it be fundraisers or getting supplies, it's very fun to hear about. And I also loved hearing about her memorable moments with that one piano lady. That was kind of sweet.
No, that was really sweet. I was thinking the same thing about the work behind it when she mentioned how they have to, like, prep the teams. I didn't even think about that. I was like, wow, it must be, like, kind of a mess when they show up day of, and it's like trying to tell them how to do it. But no, clearly, obviously, they're going to communicate beforehand and, like, give them step-by-step instructions. That's why me and you aren't running a nonprofit. And so it just shows, like, just like she said, throughout the year, even through the summer when they're off, how she still thinks about it and the effort that she puts into it. And I mean, people like her are just what keeps this world spinning. People who just want to help and do what they can.
Yes. Well,
oh, sorry, she dropped something. Okay, well, anyway, overall today was a great episode, and I'm glad that we were able to talk with Kathy.
I know, she was great. But anyway, moving on, if you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Serving813 to get updated on all episodes if you want to stream this episode, or if you're a nonprofit organization and you want to be on the show, you can DM us. But with that said, we're serving your city one convo at a time. This is Ava Lamison signing off.
This is Kate Edwards signing off.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.